and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am.
So hello there everyone, and welcome to this video with me today, where we will be talking about the importance of the power of manifestation. And once again, I tune into the Elohim consciousness, which is basically the consciousness of holding life in form. So it has to do with really channeling the power of our essence through the elements and through the wisdom of connecting with the elemental kingdoms. But not only that, because, you know, I was shown by Spirit that this is actually a very powerful gateway now. We just had the Equinox, which was very potent this year. And we're going to have a blue moon this weekend, accompanied with the, what's it called, the Easter. And the light of Easter is always the light of resurrection, if you know. And I was shown that this will be a powerful time of change. If you haven't read already, I created a blog. I always have these blogs in my diary of Ascension Pioneer. And sometimes it doesn't want to send through to those who, subscribe to that channel. So please subscribe to the blog, not just on my webpage, because these blogs come in separately, and sometimes they do come, sometimes they don't. And just this last blog update about the power of, this intense new astrological year of change and what the equinox brought many of us is talked about there. So please stay updated. So in today's video, I was walking around my twin lakes again today, and they were showing me how in our current human condition, the majority of the people focus more on what to manifest instead of how to manifest and what are we really tuning into. So with this power we have right now, because I'm shown there's intense power, immense power to manifest, we have to really move deep into the essence of what manifestation truly is, because those of us who do, we will start to create on very new powerful levels. So it's like a leap into a new powerful way of being, of co-creating, of existing, sharing with each other, because it's about the aspects of the new earth we're truly bringing about at this point. So to really be in alignment with the elements, what does that mean? Because a lot of people say invoke the elements and then work with the elements, and then maybe the rest of the people would say, but I don't know what that means. It's too archetypal. It's too ethereal in a way. So how do I connect to that in a more physical level? And this is the message I wanted to bring through to help you, to assist you with this self-empowerment gateway, because a lot of people still think manifestation is money or abundance is money, because what they're showing me is that manifestation is truly the co-creation of our highest potential made real, made manifest in each moment, so that we are aligned with our highest good vertically and horizontally until there is no more separation. So whatever you are receiving is what you're almost like gifting yourself with, but you're capable of kind of like, harnessing it. And because in our earthly vessels, we exist as a channel of, bodies that are created. We all talk about, the physical bodies and then the solar light bodies. But, we are both. We're not just one or the other. So ascension and truth in this embodied integration process, where our spiritual ascension meets the physical ascension aspect of us, is a synthesis. So it's very important to understand that we can manifest anything, especially in this new dimension we're moving into, because there's no shortcuts here, and everything is as real as it is. We manifest what we bring through our essence, and I've talked a lot about the essence level already, so you can check that out in my videos and how important that is, because if there's no feeling behind what we're invoking, it's still not enough. It won't push us through that gateway we're moving into, this higher dimensional co-creation, and bringing all the multidimensional aspects of who we are to co-create with us. So let's say we all have different aspects, and manifestation comes when all of these aspects are self-realized in a way they can cooperate. Almost like if you have a physical team of people creating a group, they all know how to work together in a harmonious alignment. They can co-create the best, highest possible results. So to understand first, again, manifestation is a state of bringing about creating or co-creating that highest attunement, highest possible reality that's in alignment with your soul and its current state of evolution and where you're currently, guided to progress into. So I'm shown this is a gateway, this resurrection gateway at this Easter point is almost like a lot of us are guided to finish many things, because it's almost like, okay, the synthesis point is there because that transfiguration level is also there to create a whole new level of what abundance truly is and means for us, and how we can bring it about in a higher attunement way. So I wanted to bring forth this message of how to more align with these elements. So let us begin. Hello there, everyone, and once again we are gathered here to co-create with all of you to bring about a higher understanding and meaning of life that is the life in the new. So as it was shared already, manifestation is an ability of each human once they fully remember who they are. And although there are many levels of that state of remembrance, there are also many states of physical embodiment of that divine remembrance. So, as the human body was created, it was intended as the highest channel of light to receive from the solar logos, or the solar light body self, and then bring that into the fusion through the alchemical merge with all the elements that were co-created as divine composites that bring that into a form of substance, with this alchemical fusion at the level of the physical body and the physical integration. So when we begin to understand the power of the elements, we first have to look into the power of nature, because nature is the highest form of manifestation. Nature is the most perfect manifester in life. Because in nature, even though from the human perspective things are not always the way they expect them to be, in nature everything co-creates, exists, replenishes, structures, and moves into form through divine principles. So a very important factor of receiving, attuning, and co-creating with the elements is first the observation of nature. So when one is in nature, one is not simply just physically in nature, but one becomes as nature itself. So when we can mimic the perfection of nature, that perfection of refinement comes naturally through our bodies, which makes us, what we've already discussed in these channelings, an attunement of life through divine patterns of perfection. A very simple way or mode or modality of tuning into the elements is observing natural phenomena and then learning from that phenomena about the expression of life in form. Because in nature, life constantly resurrects into form. And when we look at the beauty and wonder of nature, we might say, well, how did this just come about? Or how do beautiful spring flowers sometimes emerge even through, crackling holes in the snow? It is a very crucial component to become a contemplating force of conscious engagement with life in nature. Because a being that is not aimed towards goals and what to manifest, but rather how they manifest and how they're tuning to the perfection of life, it gives them a greater ability to become that powerful co-creator they were always intended to be. The second important thing is to feel an element as if we were an aspect of that element and how that element feels in the body. We might say when we only invoke the elements, I am invoking the element of air, or I am invoking the element of water, and so on and so forth. Whereas feeling or moving through the essence of these elements through our body is almost like we naturally merge with them. So the important part here is that when we do that, when we assess the importance of these elements for our creation in this world, we're actually becoming the divine template of that element itself. So let's say you're observing water. What is it translating into your consciousness? What are its messages for you, and how does water feel in your body? Well, for many humans, the simple thing would be to go for a swim or to have a walk by the lake or by the river. And then again, there's many different states of water. We have icy water, flowing water, still water, deep, ocean water. There are again many different aspects that are held within the manifestation of that element, which is again another factor we must bring through the conscious awareness of our bodies. So the synthesis can only be created by not just invoking the element itself, but becoming the element through our conscious expression. So one example would be when we bring through the element of water, we're really feeling the flow. We're feeling in alignment with the flow of life. We feel like the running water, or sometimes we feel a deep sense of peace and stillness, like a stillness of the lake surface. Sometimes we feel our ripples go out, just like the ripples at the lake when, let's say, a tiny pebble is thrown into the lake. Let's say we're talking about the element of air. So when we are in the conscious expression through our body of the air element, we're really vocalizing our truth. We're really moving the energy, because air is about moving energy. And it helps when you stand outside on a windy day and just feel the element of wind, its raw power at the very core creation level, because this is when you will feel how the energy actually moves. And then you will slowly start to adjust by consciously engaging with the movement of energy and directing it the way you want to yourself. Let's say we're now talking about the fire element. Well, we consciously engage with the fire element when, let's say, we're doing Kundalini yoga or practices that really raise the life force, the sacred fire, and we're creating that conscious dancing and really passionately fueling that energy through our bodies. Let's say now we're talking about the element of earth. How does earth feel in your body? It might be again different for different individuals, because that was the meaning of life in creation, for each being to consciously attune to the elements and then bring their own expression of the elemental forces of life through their own bodies. And nowadays, many people talk about the elemental vortices in the body structure, which again are not just those basic elemental vortices we know as the 4 basic elements and the element of ether, which is the synthesis in a way of all these. And when we can move into higher refined states of our frequency or vibrational essence. But for the majority of humans where they are now at, they really need to bring the focus of that goal or the prize or the desire and feel that desire as a flowing, it's like a flowing essence of life. So it's bringing it out of that linear composition. Let's say you're attracting or wanting to create a life partner, and you're constantly seeing them somewhere out there, and you're here in a linear form, and they're moving towards you, and you're moving towards them perhaps. But feeling that at the essence level is when you're already expressing the essence of partnership. So you're kind of like dancing in a spiral, and you're both dancing in that spiral until both of your spirals truly kind of like interlock in that spinning formation of the design of life. So we really wanted to address here today the importance of moving from the desire of what to manifest into becoming the essence of that manifestation, which is the natural alignment principle. So how are we manifesting? Those beings who are fully fused with the elemental, let's say, forces of nature, these beings are most naturally attuned, divine, resonant channels of that light in motion. So they're always on the go. They're free spirits who, let's say, take what life offers and always mutually reciprocate right back in this constant flow. Instead of feeling like, okay, I am this being in this still motion and life moves around me. It's rather like you are the spinning vortex and life moves within you. Life is already happening within you. So instead of being with something or something coming to you, you are a part of that. You are in that something. And that is a very crucial component of the manifesting through the elements. So when you begin this practice yourself, you can find a sacred space or attunement somewhere out there in nature, preferably, and just consciously first invoke the element. And instead of just doing it in a very monotonous way when you're activating, like, I am the element of air, I am the element of water, just call the element forth. Let it introduce itself to you, and now ask for the highest unique expression of that element through your body as a sacred channel of light that you are. And then just feel how it moves through you. Imagine it descending through your column of light, your ascension pillar, and feel that expression. And sometimes you'll want to move or stretch or do something, and ask that element to show the highest expression of its divine potency in your body in this moment. Then move forth into another element, or maybe you will be guided to change your sacred spot and, create with a different element, with a different sacred space, which is perfectly natural, because now you're already practicing the being in motion instead of being and everything is just somewhere out there happening, and you're pulling it, like a bait towards you. Manifestation is truly not like that. In a certain more linear fashion, it might have appeared to beings that this is how we manifest. We're pulling things, but we are both magnetic and electric beings, and so much more that we start to tap into when we start to synthesize this simple awareness, this simple wisdom of life. So the more time you spend outdoors, watching, observing, contemplating, instead of just talking, truly listen. Sometimes just observe a natural phenomena, listen to its wisdom. Maybe you'll be guided to write it down. Maybe you'll be guided to sing about it, or create a poetry about it, or create a dance. It's very beautiful when you invoke certain elements and ask, how would this element look like a music, or how would this element look like a dance, or how it would be expressed in written word. It matters not. It's important that you get creative in your own way. And then feel yourself as a powerful vortex where all these elements meet. They merge, they alchemize, and feel their power in this now moment. When you're fully aligned with every element in every direction, and feel that force of life that moves you, that force of life in motion that moves you to create for your highest expression of soul and your current soul evolution in your physical life force expression in your body. So that is your conscious intent. And know that because you're changing every moment, it's changing because it's fluid. So instead of making manifestation static and as it needs to come to you, you're simply dancing with life. As everywhere you are, you create a new vortex and you're spinning. And sometimes these vortices meet and they create a new powerful vortex of light, of life in expression, of life in motion. So this is a very simple wisdom we wanted to share today. There is much more, but let that be enough for now. Use this time of intense light of manifestation to move into this new higher consciousness and just enjoy, because it is very important then to activate the fusion of joy on all the levels within all these elements. And that is it for now. That is all we wish to share today. We greet you as always with immense love, wisdom, and power. Wherever you are, enjoy. Be with life. Be as life itself. For you are life. Take care. So to summarize, it is very important for us to understand that each element has many different versions of its expression. So let's say an attunement to a different expression of that element would assist the invocation of a certain essence we want to feel. So let's say we want to feel a certain way, we naturally channel that element. So many people say, I feel this way, or I cannot feel this right now in my life, or I don't feel this way, instead of consciously invoking the essence, right, of that feeling, and then directly connecting with that elemental structure, because it is a natural structure. And when we bring that component in a multidimensional level to our body, then we anchor it within our bodies. So it is also very important to understand, right, that, for example, in my own life, when I, let's say, climb a mountain, I will feel differently than when I take a walk around the lake. And in that moment, I wish to, let's say, manifest something. I will know exactly what I need, and then I'll be guided through my, not just my spirit guidance, but also my elemental body to take me to a certain level, the next step I need. So let's say when I walk on top of the mountain or I climb mountains, it's a very high elevated state of consciousness. I'm constantly receiving messages and attunements, while at the same time I feel also very grounded, and I'm holding rocks in my hands. I'm climbing on those mountain stones, which are huge boulder rocks, and it's a beautiful expression. So let's say you want to engage with very passionate, fiery creation of something, you will, invoke a different essence into your body. Another level is the importance of creating through music. As we know, music is very important for our manifestation journey. And I've been talking a lot about music and the essence level of the late. And let's say different levels, again, of music will invoke different feeling states, like angelic music or tribal music, or, let's say cosmic dance music, and then dancing through those elements. Let's try those different dances. I've shared a while ago, different dances through the higher chakric system that we can invoke through our basic, chakric system, through different elements align with that as well. So for us to, let's say, start attuning more to the creation of our own song, our own music, through the song of our soul, we can connect to different states of music. So right now it's springtime and birds are chirping and dancing around like crazy, and just listening to the sound, to the frequency of the light language they speak, automatically invokes within us that same level of manifesting. And everything through nature has such a beautiful reflection, but it's not just a reflection. It's an actualization of those elements through which all life operates, it runs through these elements, or elements run through all life. So the moment we start to tune into those creation principles and bringing them through our bodies, our manifestation abilities will deeply increase. And when you're consciously working on raising your life force, you will notice these manifestation abilities increasing even more. Because when you're deeply in your body, channeling life force, bringing it into diffusion with all life and all elements, you will become a powerful co-creator with life. And so it is. May it be for all.